Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video we're taking a look at more excessive heat going on in the United States as the National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory and excessive heat warning going on into Nebraska and South Dakota. Not only that, more storms in the eastern seaboard is happening today as the National Weather Service has issued a flood warning or flood watch going on into the eastern Kentucky all the way into West Virginia and northern Virginia and Ohio and Indiana. Anyone else who are in these areas are not to make sure to take cover. So without further, let's start with today's update. So welcome back guys to Mr. Weatherman Forecast. So we're here with another video. As you can see, the National Weather Service did issue a flood watch going on for Kentucky into all the way from Kentucky to Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, and into Northern Virginia. So if you guys do like the content, please make sure you hit a like and subscribe to the channel, as it will help me more to reach a lot of followers and subscribers. So without further, let's get started with today's video. So I'm going to take a look at the map, or the heat map as we all know, from weathermodels.com. So as you can see, we have excessive heats going on today. Well, not really much, but for this one, yes. Since today is excessiveness is going to start to go. So this is what the currency is going on. As you can see, all this white stuff going on, all this white shaded area. That's meaning that all the heat is starting to fire up, and it's going on for Texas all the way into Oklahoma, into Kansas, all the way to Nebraska, and reaching into the South Dakota area. So if we into South Dakota, so if we go forward, the temperatures are still rising somewhere in the somewhere in the hundreds, 100s, and some of them are reaching into the 90s or 80s. So if we go forward, as we go forward into tomorrow or anywhere else, we can see that all the excessive heat is starting to go. But as Friday, everything seems to cool down. But not only that, we go forward, and then all this heat wave is rising from all the way from Texas to North Dakota or South Dakota. So as we go forward, it's still rising, but as we go forward, this heat wave will be non-stop heat wave as you go forward. But into Saturday, it starts to cool down for a minute, then late it starts to cool down for an hour or two until later more excessive heat wave is firing up again into Texas, to Oklahoma and Kansas. So without further, let's take a look at the models, because we have a lot of rain going on, or we're going to take a look at the satellites. So we're going to take a look at satellites at goes6probabletibbets.com. I like this application. I will provide a link down below if you want to see anything from the contents. So I will show you guys in today. So as you can see, we're in the satellite. As again, I'll provide this link to the satellite if you want to see this. So without further, let's start with the models. So as you can see in the satellites, you can see that all the color, all this thing is going on. Everything looks to be fine, but not all the way fine, because in the mesoscale, it looks like there's a few pockets of rain going on into the eastern or the western side of Virginia, into the northern Virginia, and some pockets of rain from the West Virginia into the eastern Virginia too. Anyone else who are associated with the path need to make sure that you're all safe and not in the middle of the storm, because the storm could produce some flood. Well, not flood, but on the eastern side, like all the way to the western side. Well, we'll show you guys in just a minute. So anyone else from these areas, you may get some producing, you may or produced to have thunderstorms. We don't know yet, but if the National Weather Service or weather issued a flood watch, since it's going on for the Northern Virginia. Not only that, the flood watch is still in effect for the eastern Kentucky. So as you can see, everything is now under a flood watch. But not only that, we also have a flood warning going on into southern Nevada, into the eastern California, and the northwestern Arizona and Las Vegas. So anyone else, we're going to take a look at the radar or model data. I just want to take a look. So as you can see, there's a lot of heavy rain going on today. Not only that, some of the radars are showing this, so we will take a look at the radar to make sure we're in a safe area. I know I don't use this radar that much, because since I only use it whenever I need to do a stream or anything else, that's my number one priority. But this is my number one priority to keep you guys informed. So as you see in the red area, we're going to take a look at the uh, at the KHNX going on from California into Nevada. So as you can see, all the radar is showing the sighting of this horrific flooding going on into Nevada. But that's not only that, because we're taking a look at more of this data going on. As you can see, the radar is showing a few rains going on. But as later we go forward, this rain will start to become heavy as it goes forward into today. I know this radar isn't the much that we can discover, but this is the only radar I can only use to make in case of the storm to happen. But this is what's going on for today. As the radar shows, there is a few likely to have flash flooding or anything else going on into Nevada. But let's not worry. But let's worry about that later, because we're gonna take a look at Kentucky's going on, whatever's going on down there. So we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna take a look at the radar, but not only that, we'll first take a look at the radar later, but now we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center since they want to issue it. So we're going to go to the Storm Prediction Center and see what is going on today. So as you can see, we're taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center, and at the Storm Prediction Center, they're issuing let's see, a slight risk now for Montana into the northern or the northwestern of Montana, into the southeastern of North Dakota, into the northeastern of South Dakota as well. So anyone else who are in the slight risk are to make sure you just stay safe, because this slight risk may or may not produce tornadoes or anything else that could be possible. But that's not entirely true, because we need to make sure what's further into the truth. Since we want to make sure that there's no tornadoes going on into the United States. So without further, let's go take a look at the radar or the Storm Prediction Center. So on day one, we have a slight risk going on into Fargo, North Dakota, Moorhead, Minnesota, Minnesota, West Fargo, North Dakota, Fergus Falls, Montana, and also for Bemidji, Montana too. So for the margin risk is for Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Richmond, Virginia, and Arlington, Virginia. So anyone else who are associated to this path or need to make sure to be in your shelters. If the storm becomes any worse, we'll be going on live for the Montana area. So for the tornado threat, it's a 2% chance, which is a good thing since there is no tornadoes going on in Montana. For the hail threat, it's a 15% chance for the Montana and North and South Dakota as well, and those are included for Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, Fergus Falls, and Bemidji. And all those areas are expected or need to take shelter if this hail are large ones or wind threat. For the hail threat is actually a 50% chance and is included for the same areas, also including for Waterstown, Hibbing, and Brainerd, and Pierre. All those areas are expected a 5% chance, so I need to make sure that you're all staying safe and these hails are not that big for you. So let's not talk about that, and let's talk about this for day two. So day two, we have a categorical. As you can see, the category is a marginal risk, which is a one out of five severe weather threat. For the tornado threat, is a 2% chance, which is a good thing. But for the wind threat, it's actually a 5% chance included for the same areas for Minneapolis, St. Paul, Sioux Falls, Rochester, and Sioux City. Now for the hail threat, it's a 5% chance, for the 5% chance for the same areas for Minneapolis, St. Paul, Sioux Falls, Rochester, and Sioux City. Anyone else wanting the 5% chance or to make sure that you're all in your safe areas. Now for the 3% chance, it's a no risk, so it is a 0 out of 5 threat for it. So anyone else who are in these areas, you're okay that there's not much. If we look at the probability, there's a 5% chance less of these areas going on. So that's gonna be good for you guys today. But that doesn't end there, because we go forward and pretty much it. There's nothing else going on for the couple of 8 days. So this will be the Storm Prediction Center's emergency or anything else that's going on. So we're take a look at the radar since we didn't have time to check or take a look. We go forward and we'll take a look at that, but we're going to stop right here all the way from Friday into Saturday. So as you can see, we got some floods going on all the way from somewhere in the eastern California to the southwestern of Nevada. but that's only from the beginning because we go forward and all this rain is still going into Nevada. As you go forward into tonight or today into tonight, it will dissipate and go into Nevada all the way into Idaho. But that's not only that. We're also going to take a look at the eastern side since we never had the chance to take a look at it. We're going to go backwards, take a look at the radar. So as you can see, there's a few there's looks like to be a line forming into the western Kentucky, into the eastern Kentucky, and then we have another one going on to the eastern Kentucky. As we go forward into today, into tonight, these storms are still going on into the middle, into the northern, the central Kentucky, all the way to the eastern Kentucky. But as you go forward on Saturday, there's a few rains going on to the southern Virginia, but that's not going to end there because we go forward and that's pretty much it. But just wait, just 1 minute, 1 minute. You can see that there is a more rain going on into somewhere around here in the northwestern, somewhere in the mid central, in the northern central. But we go forward, all this rain is going on and somewhere else in the northwestern side. We go forward, and all the rain is still dissipating. But later, this is what Sunday is going to be like because since the National or the Storm Prediction Center has issued the marginal risk, you can see how all the rain is going on all the way from all the way happening from Montana or Minnesota. Yes, I corrected this. There's a few more rain going on from Montana. That for Saturday for tomorrow. We go forward and there's a few storms forming like a line stretching from Minnesota into Wisconsin. You go forward into further, we have more storms going on to Minnesota, into southeastern Minnesota, into all the way crossing the border of Wisconsin. We go forward, and all that rain is going on. So we're gonna go forward, let's take a look at it, and see a few rains are forming. A few pockets of rain are still forming into Wisconsin, and that's about it to go forward. So there's nothing else there. There's nothing else we can see, but all we can know is that this storm is still going on into the United States. But let's say that this one will happen somewhere around by next couple of 2 days into the next week. Now, we haven't reviewed the satellite imagery, so we're going to take a look at the satellite imageries from Invest 91, from Invest 97 into Invest 99E. So without further, let's get to it. So as you can see, we see a few, or let's see. As you can see on the satellites, you can see how all this all these purple shaded areas, you can see how everything is about to formate, but that's not only it, because we don't know if this tropical storm is about to become anything else. There's nothing else more to talk about this tropical storm, but all we can know is that this storm is actually happening somewhere around the eastern Atlantic or somewhere else. But that's all we can know because there's nothing else happening into the tropics. But if we take a look more forward into the National Hurricane Center, so we never discussed about it. We're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center, see if we have any detections going on there. Because if there was to be a hurricane or tropical storm, we will be updating to see anything else going on. But for now, everything seems to remain calm into the Atlantic. In the Eastern Pacific, or yeah, anywhere else in the Eastern Pacific, you can see that there isn't any disturbances. But not only that, not to mention this, there's a 60% chance of a formation of a cyclone or something, maybe a depression to a storm to a hurricane, but we don't know that for sure. So we're seeing there at 11 a.m. PDT Pacific Daylight Time on Friday, August 5th, 2022. The offshore of the southwestern Mexico satellite imageries indicate a board area of low pressure located the offshores of the coast of the southern and southwestern Mexico continues to produce an elongated area of showers and a few thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appeared conducive for development of this system. And a tropical depression is likely to form this weekend. The system is forecast to move generally the west northwestward at around 15 miles per hour through early next week, remaining well offshore of the coast by 15 or offshore the coast of the southwestern Mexico. The formation chance is actually around 48 hours, the high percent chance for 70%. Not only that, the formation chance is around 5 days, high 90%. So this could lead to maybe a tropical depression into a tropical storm. We don't know yet, but all we can know is that the storm could turn into a depression, into a storm, or into a hurricane, but we don't know yet. So, but unfortunately, there isn't more information to find out how this thing's going on. But all I'm guessing at this rate, this could be the invest from the satellite imagery. So we're going to take a look at this satellite. I'm thinking that this is the one that is hiding all along. So I'm thinking this is the one that is going on in the somewhere around the western side of Mexico, somewhere in the western side of Mexico. Anyone else or anyone else or something else. So this is what's going to happen in the western side of Mexico, as the National Hurricane Center did issue it. We're going to take a look at the Pacific or the central side. As you can see on the central, there is nothing to see but just Hawaii standing there, because there's nothing else going on down there. But in the eastern Pacific, there is a 16% chance of disturbances going on in the two-way of the cyclone formation. So anyone else who are in this, well, we don't know if this, as they said that there could be this could be formating somewhere around the southwestern Mexico area or anyone else. So that's the best satellites are showing, since the satellites from the United States, there are still possible storms going on. So we'll conclude with today's video, because I don't think there was not much information to describe. But all I can say, anyone else where the excessive heatness or excessive weight of the wave of heatness is going on, we will make sure that you're all staying safe, stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluids, check on relatives or neighbors going on in your neighborhood or anything else, and never ever leave your kids or pets unattended. Never do that, because if you do, you will be in trouble. Now they can dehydrate, or I don't know what's going to happen next, but whatever happens next, it's going to be even worse. Well, so as you see, guys, I'm gonna have to end today's video because there was nothing more to discuss about. But all I can say is that this storm is still going on somewhere around here in the eastern seaboard, all the way from the eastern into the western side, Nevada, all the way there. So I will have to conclude this video since there's nothing else to do more. So without further, goodbye and have a nice day.